Yeah, yeah.
So, well, welcome. And we are so excited to be back. We have been away for 2 weeks, summer vacation. And just so that everybody knows, we're going to be on for 3 weeks and then we're going to take another 2 weeks off. Yay! Right, Sarah?
Right.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, we don't know when to stop, but we figure it's summer. Sarah said that a lot of people even take the whole entire summer off. And I was like, you're right. Let's take another 2 weeks off. It will be here, and I'm sure you will come back to see us because I'm sure you miss us. So with everything, I think that the conversation is very casual. If you are stumble on our platform the first time, this is called a thriving conversation. And it started out with two former refugee women. One was from the sea and the other's from the jungle. I was the boat person and Sarah was the jungle Khmer Rouge survivor. So
Wow.
we kind of put together and we thought not only sharing our story, but we're going to interview people to share their story, their thriving story. How did they get here? And we have been doing it since March 24th of 2020, the beginning lockdown of the pandemic. So things has been expanding, and now we have been mostly interview our guests about their thriving story. And we'd love to hear about the journey that they have been through and what make them do what they do. And we're getting fancy. This year we have theme for every month. So the theme of this month is, I love this theme, is value, self-worth, and confidence. So we want to hear all the juicy parts on your story about self-worth and about confidence, and how do you put that in terms of value, not just for you, but from other people's point of view. So with all that said, we always start the show with the Big Bang. Sarah's going to do an introduction, and then I will jump in for a little quick introduction of who I am, and then we're going to pass the baton to you, and you'll be the one who talk most of the time, hopefully.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Lee, for open the show and let the conversation start. And I want to share briefly about myself so that when we have our new viewers, they know a little bit about us. So I grew up in Cambodia. Um, During my life, my early life, I enjoy my lifestyle in the countryside. But when I got a chance to attend college in the big city, I left my family and I was in the city by myself. And that's that's the time when my life was turned upside down. When the Khmer communists took over Cambodia, they begin to shut down the whole country. And not only that, they evacuate everybody out of the city. And the whole shutdown was 4 years. And we were forced to work extremely hard, long hours. And we almost died. I almost died. But thank goodness I'm alive. And finally, I was able to escape from captivities and finally escape from Cambodia. So I am so grateful to be here in this beautiful country with freedom that you never know until you are stripped away from your freedom. But I am so grateful to be here. And I wrote my story in a book. This is my book. It's how I survived the killing fields, and it's available on my website, sarahim.com. So that's all I want to say. Now, back to you, Lee.
Well, thank you, Sarah. Well, in case you have not heard our introduction, there was Sarah's. Mine is a little slightly different but very similar in a sense. I also was a former refugee escaping the communists, but not from Cambodia, it's from Vietnam, a neighbor country of Cambodia. And we both endure all those oppression about the same time periods. The communists took over Vietnam in 1975, which is the same time that Sarah has got to the education, whatever, the labor camp. And my family has lived 4 years of very uncertainties under the communists until 79. That's when my dad took the courage to took over 500 people, hop on a boat and just sail out to the sea and hoping for freedom. And with tenacity, we did, and with God's grace and with luck and with everything that you can put on the pot, we got to America. And yesterday, we really celebrating the independent days, not the independent days of the country, but for individual refugees, immigrants, people who are like, you know, crave for freedom in this country. And we made it here. And thanks to the great love of the people in this country that make it possible for us to become one of the citizen in this country. So so I also have told my memoir and my book is called I Did Not Miss the Boat. And I also did my TEDx talk 2 years ago to tell little blips of my story about the journey that we took out to the sea and, you know, combating pirates, or not combating, but being raided by pirates and survive from the pirates. So yeah, and Sarah and I were both speakers. So if you need to hear more about us, you would like to know more about us, feel free to contact us. But more importantly, if you do have a story, a thriving story, a story of not just surviving, but beyond that, we'd love to hear yours. So contact us so you can be on our show. Now today, we have the honor of having Lori Gentles. And Lori is amazing. She is an author of a book that's just published. It's called Oh Slap. I love the name. I want to know more why the name Oh Slap. But she's also a presenter. She had talked on Disrupt HR, and she has been speaking many places. So we want to hear more about who Lori is and why the theme of self-worth triggered her that she want to be on our show and talk about it. So welcome, Lori.
Thank you. Thank you both. So glad to be here. And I just want to say, listening to your stories, I have nothing even close to that. It was so powerful to hear both of your stories, but I do have a story, and I'm going to share that with you because no matter where your story is, whether it's on, you know, one end of the spectrum, I mean, there's always somebody who had it worse than you and somebody who always had it better than you. So everybody's own personal story is relevant. And so that's some of that came out in my book. And by the way, I'll just show mine. Oh, slap.
Oh, slap.
Yes. My choices determine my destiny. And some of the words that you all talked about in your theme, well, one, you talk about confidence and self-value. The other thing that I heard in your stories was the whole concept of freedom, how you all escaped, you know, and freedom. And freedom is one of my highest values, whether it's escaping from, you know, a war-torn country, or whether it's mental freedom that so many of us—
Your own mind. You captivate,
mind.
yeah, you captivate yourself in that prison.
That's right. We are in a prison of our own thinking and our own minds. And so that's how, that's where the book originated from, really, is to help people get unstuck, get free from their own limiting beliefs. I call it the effing BS, faulty belief system,
Yeah,
that we all live with, that we were told certain messages at a very young age, and we adopted those without question, without even challenging it, because we got them from an authority figure, our parents,
yeah,
our teachers, or preachers or ministers, our friends, the television. And so we believe a lot of the things, and we grow up and we just, stay stuck in a box, knowing deep inside that there's something more to us, that there's something more that we want to do, and something more that we can contribute to the good of society and the world. And so there's this kind of dichotomy here. I want to do more, but I've also believed that I can't do more because my mother said, or my teacher said, or whatever. And so the book, Oh Slap, is intended to kind of shake you out of that stupor, to shake you out of that limiting belief that keeps you playing small. So the way I define Oh Slap, it's that moment of, sobering clarity, awareness, and excellence. It's that moment that you break through and you say, oh my God, I am gifted. Oh my God, I am talented. I can do. This is possible, right? I'm not going to focus on the negative voices, which there are many, but I am going to turn up the volume on my own positive, divinely inspired voice. And then the angels, I call them angels, the positive people around us that will give you a piece of inspiration and positivity. For me, that was my grandmother. So I grew up in a large family. There are 8 of us. And I'm the 7th child, number 7. And so my grandmother was very superstitious, and she believed that 7 was an auspicious number. It was a lucky number. And she always said that you're going to be special, and I can't wait to see what you turn into when you grow up. Well, she died the summer of my freshman year in college. So, but that message that she planted in me counteracted all of the negative messages that I heard from others, including members of my family. Things like, you're stupid, or, I wish you weren't born, things of that nature, very ugly things. But I chose to listen to the positive voice. And my book is about making choices, making positive choices for your life. So that's just a little bit about
love it. I love it, because I think this is very similar to the lingos that we all use here. Life is about choices.
Yeah.
But it's just funny that hearing you talk, I think Sarah is probably running the same reel as I am. Like, you think only women or girls in Asia would hear those kind of things. And it's just shocking to know that how many women in the United States, in this beautiful free country, and it was still being oppressed in their thoughts, in that type of, put down. And I have so many stories that I grew up in Asia, the way that we, daughters, women's, are compared to. So something that we take it to heart, and we just always being told by the society that you're nothing. You always be the supporter of the men. You always have lesser voice than the men, the brother, the son, anybody in the family. You're the last rank. But it's just so interesting to hear we're not alone. Not in Asia only, but is worldwide. And even the most advanced country like America, not Africa, not India, not China, but here in America, we still having that same mentality toward women. So that is kind of like shocking in a sense. But I am so glad that you took that road, that step, to tell us that it's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable. And these are the stories that I hear, in America all the time, being born and raised. So it's very pervasive when I talk to my friends. And that's why it's important to share your story publicly. Sometimes we get embarrassed and we hide it, and we don't.
Yeah.
And so we're not helping anyone. But once you start speaking it, you start seeing all your friends and people saying, oh, that happened to me too. What did you do to build up your confidence? Because those negative messages really can cause you to have extremely low self-esteem, depression, all sorts of things. And which, you know, I had low self-esteem. You know, it took me a long time to build up, you know, where I felt, no, I'm not a fake. I'm not you may have heard of the imposter syndrome. I'm not an imposter. I'm not faking it. I am talented. I do have something to offer, and it's divinely given to me, uniquely given to me. I'm not trying to compare myself with you. I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses, you know, so to speak. I'm not trying to do any of that, because there is room in the world for everyone's gifts and talents. I don't need to knock you down or try to beat you, you know, get in front of you to beat you. Let me just do what I do, because what I do is needed in the world, and you do what you do, and it's needed in the world as well. So
this is the story of been thousands of years, and I'm sure it will be 1,000 more of years, just different story from you know, century to century, but it's the same message. Somehow, hopefully in a couple hundred years, it will be different, because I think we're progressing to a place that younger folks don't take that kind of BS anymore.
yes, get rid of the effing BS. Yes, they don't.
Yeah, and I think we probably have done something right. I mean, like you said, it's really powerful when you have a story that you're willing to share, because we all have story, and there's no comparison here. I mean, your suffer is different than my suffer, and different than Sarah's suffer, and different than Lisa, Debbie, you know, whoever.
Right.
We all have a different positive and negative voice in our lives that you just, you know, speaking louder if we let that volume turn on. And so the book is the intention. I mean, tell us, like, you know, okay, it's great to know that you come from a crowded family. Are they all girls, you said?
No, there's 5 girls and 3 boys.
Okay.
For a total of 8.
I want to tell you that 5 triggered me, because there's a saying, I think in Vietnamese, when a family of 5 girls, they say it's 5 ghosts. I don't know why, but it's almost like, you know, it's bad, you know, the family have so many girls. So already you're born with things that you hear, it's already compressing your self-worth. I was like, oh my God, I wish I'm a boy. I mean, all my life, I'm wishing I'm a boy.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you have the same wish, but until recently, the last 10, 15 years, it's like, I'm glad I'm a woman.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you know, I never wished that I was a boy, but I did question my existence. What am I here for? You know,
Yeah.
Why am I born into this situation? Why are certain things, you know, at the time I was giving into the limiting beliefs, because the limiting belief says that, you know, you're born into a certain family, you're destined for a certain lifestyle. And it took me a long time to realize that, no, I don't care what kind of situation you're born into, you can get out of that situation if it's not what you want or desire. Now, I do think you need to be aware that there is another lifestyle. And that's why these books and these talks are so important, because it helps people see that there is another way. You know, when you're living in the prison of your own mind, you don't see another way. All you see is concrete walls. But all you need is a little hole to see that there's something better and different.
Right.
And then you start working toward that. So
yeah, I think you are ahead of me, because I didn't question about my existence, my purpose, until I think, you know, a decade ago. And that's when I decided to write my book. But before that, it's just so much easier to wish that you're somebody else.
Yeah.
Because like what was that? That man's got to talk and everybody listen. And here I am, you know, it's like, oh, I wish I'm a man. Oh, I wish it would be so much easier. But until you know that you don't have to wish, you can take action by picking the choice. Like you said, I mean, it's like, that's very much in tune with what I said too. You know, you have the power to navigate your own, whichever way you want to go. And, you know, many of us having the same message out there. And many people, and including us, I think that we heard that message many times. But until that one moment, that one light bulb moment catching us.
Yes.
So I think you are the same. I'm the same. Sarah's same. We put the book out there, hoping that someone will have that very, you know, connecting moment, that connecting to our book, our story, to switch that light bulb on.
Yes.
Just like we did.
And you know, one of the things that I do think, I've come to believe this, that the light bulb is always there in an individual. And sometimes people like you or me or Sarah, you know, the book might help spark it or remind them that it's there, but it's always there.
Yeah.
What happens is that we drown it out. And I talk about that in my book. We know the light, we feel it inside, because it's you know, that's why I came up with the phrase #iChoice. It stands for intentional, inspired, intentional, inspired, I'm losing the last I, and individual choice. And so that inspiration comes from within. It doesn't come from outside. Like, you can't necessarily inspire me. I might get excited and interested in what you're doing, but the inspiration comes from within, and we always have it, but we drown it out, or we let other people drown it out because of fear, because of wanting to be liked, because of insecurity or our self-worth. You know, we feel low, we feel like I'm not worthy, but that little thing keeps coming up. And so hopefully when people watch shows like this, or they pick up a book, it'll just remind them and cause them to take action. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember when I was a child, I always wanted to XYZ. And here I am, you know, 50, 60, 70 years old. I didn't do it. You know, I don't want to live a life of regret. And I'm saying there's still time. Like, there's still time to live your best life. I don't care where you are start now, whatever it is. Like, you know, start now and make the most of the time that you have left is one of my
so true. It's so true. But sometimes certain stage in your life would push that urgency a little faster.
Exactly. Like, I wish that I was doing what I was doing 20 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
And I have to say, well, let's just believe in the universe and believe that I'm at the right space, you know, at the right time. Otherwise, that little trick will get you depressed and get you down and blah, blah. And that's just another trick to delay you from reaching your dream. So we got to be mindful of those little sneaky, sly thoughts that penetrate our mind to try to put us back in prison. Regret is a big one. You know, I'm determined to live a life free of regret. Like, never regret, I should have done it. Well, maybe, but I didn't. Here I am right now, and I'm going to stand firmly in where I'm at right now. So that's that confidence that you all are talking about. It's believing within your core and your spirit that you're exactly at the place that you're supposed to be at this given moment, and that it's not over yet. There's more.
Absolutely. So I think that God always make certain thing at the proper time in his will.
100%.
And I think certain time, you know, you look back, like, I, you know, should have done this 10 years ago, but it wasn't your time yet. If I had written my book 10 years ago, I wouldn't think I have the wisdom, the level of wisdom that I have today to talk about it. So I have to trust in God that, you know, it is the right time. And just like our audience, anytime is a good time when you're ready.
Yeah.
But once you know that you're ready, don't sit on it, because You don't want to miss the boats. That's the book, the name of my book. Don't miss the boats. There's so many opportunity in life that there's no need for us to miss it. But I just love to hear what caused you. So you were in the corporate before, or
Yeah.
how does the path, how's the journey bring you to this point?
Yeah, so I have been in the people business all my life in various industries. And so I would work with a lot of employees in organizations that, I saw they were living, they had an entitlement mentality. They had certain faulty beliefs that they held about themselves, and they felt entitled, like they felt like the world and the job and the organization owed them something. And so they felt oppressed, and they felt disempowered. And and that just perpetuated itself more and more until they are just victims.
Right.
And so that bothers me so much, because any one of us could be a victim if we let ourselves.
Yeah.
And oh, woe is me. Oh, why was I born here in this
Right.
country and not in this? We can complain and whine and gripe and moan about everything all day long.
Such a wasted energy, right?
The wasted energy, it doesn't get you anywhere at all. And as a matter of fact, it just piles on. So you're really just digging yourself deeper into a hole. So when you change that, what the words that you speak, which are very, powerful, you start to experience a little bit more power, and a little bit more confidence. So in the workplace, in corporate America, I would see these people and they would be complaining about their bosses all the time and whining and blaming or whatever. And I knew that they were talented. I knew that they had what it takes. If they just would switch their energy to something more positive, it would make a world of difference. But you know what? They were in a concrete wall. They were in their own prison. They didn't see a way out. They thought it was somebody else. And so this book really helps to move people from a state of entitlement and disempowerment to one of being empowered, living in Victor Hill versus living in victimhood. Like, don't be a victim. Yeah. Don't wait for someone to, don't think that somebody's going to have your best interest at heart. Like, I do believe that there are good people in the world. People love and care for each other. But at the end of the day, a lot of the times when you're in corporate America, it's about the business, it's about the, the profit, or it's about those type of things, what's good for the company. So you have to have your own best interest at heart. So if you want a promotion, if you want to raise, if you think you can do more, if you want to be more recognized or respected, and you're not getting it at this place, if people aren't valuing you, you have to have enough self-value and enough self-worth to say, wait a minute, I'm either going to change the situation here, or I'm going to change and move on to a place where I'm more appreciated. Beautiful. Those are the decision points that a lot of us feel we're stuck. I can't, what do you mean, make a decision to leave? I have a family to raise, a family to feed, a mortgage, and that's all based in fear. Yes, that's true. We all have responsibilities, but instead of instead of saying, I can't, say, how can I? This job, this relationship, this, whatever the situation is not working for me. So instead of saying, but I can't leave, I have no options, say, how can I get free of this situation? And it's just a slight little change in language, but when you use the word, how can I, it forces the brain to go into solutions mode. Yeah. So asking that question, your brain is a machine, it's intelligent, and it wants to solve problems. So how can I? And then all of a sudden, things will start coming your way on little steps. They don't have to be big sweeping steps, but little steps you can take to get yourself out of the situation.
Beautiful. I love it. I love the part that we got to put 100% into whatever we do.
Yeah.
And same thing here. My mantra is you don't have to settle for anything less than you deserve.
Yep.
If you deserve a raise, go ask for it. Go tell people why you deserve a raise.
Right.
You don't like it enough, find a way out. Find something else that you love to do and do it. So that is very much in tune with my mentality to life, toward life. And I think it is something that every single one, mostly I think women, need to hear this. Men know what they want and they just act on it. Women are so hesitant. Women is like, oh, what if I go out and my, it affected my family, or people don't like, it's just like they put everybody else above their own interests.
Yep. And I think now is the time for women power. I mean, I kind of, hope I'm not offending anyone, but this is the time for women to rise and to speak up and to embrace their power. I mean, we are multifaceted, multi-talented. The approach and the style in which we solve problems is just, there's studies now that coming out, they're saying it's better. You need a woman on your team for sure to help solve some of the world's most complex problems because we think differently. We have a certain level of empathy. And I think that women are rising up. And so if there's anybody on this audience that are still feeling like the traditional way that we all, grew up and felt, oh, I'm supposed to be quiet, don't speak up, they'll just work hard, they'll recognize me. Nope, you're working hard, you're working harder than anybody else, and they're just passing you left and right. No, if I speak up, I'm gonna sound too aggressive, or I'm gonna sound, whatever names that women are called, right? Negative names that women are called when they speak up for themselves. So, but you got to drown that noise out and say, you know what? You have to just establish that confidence and belief. I know I can do more. I know I'm meant for more, and I am going to do it, and I'm not letting anybody get in my way. And so it takes courage to just step out there just a little bit, because the first time you do it, people are going to, people might look at you sideways or say stuff about you. It's like, whatever. Here's what I've learned for the audience. I've learned that the more people talk about you because if you weren't doing anything good, people aren't gonna talk about you.
Totally agree. Yep.
So the more people are talking about you, it's like, great, thumbs up. Maybe I am doing something. And the other piece to that is that a lot of the times people will talk about and try to tear down things that you're doing that are good out of their own fear, their own insecurity, jealousy, all of those things. And so my hope for people is to say, don't be jealous, don't hate, participate, like get on the bandwagon. What is it that you can do? Not hate you for doing something great and sharing your story. So, I've come to recognize it's not personal, it's their own inefficiencies, it's their own deficiencies that's causing them to act this way.
Yeah. I have learned also from this journey that not everyone is going to be a supporter, and you're just going to have to accept it.
That's right.
And go find the people who support you. You can support people, and forming that group that all rise above together.
Exactly. That's right.
So there are times that women, it's when people are making a remark, it's not about us, but it's a reflection of themselves.
It's them. Yes. And that's the sad part. When you see that, so the reason why that's so important for people to know, because I know people who are really disturbed and they get so upset when people are talking about them because they take it in personally.
Yeah.
And then that slows you down. It's a weight that slows you down. But if you can really understand where it's coming from, you can pray for them, bless them, give them the book, do whatever, but you keep going forward, Right.
And going back to about you have the choice,
Have the choice.
right? You have the choice. Even
Absolutely.
to pick the people in your circle, you do have a choice. And
Yeah.
I love it. So I can't wait to check out your book. And you know, do you go out to corporate and talk? Are you a consultant or?
I am. So I have a day job, but I also do consulting on the side. I have a company called The Choices Company.
Mhm.
And it is power coaching, and it's keynote speaking and giving talks to organizations, to whether it's corporate America or it's in high schools or college settings,
Okay.
because this message is universal.
Yeah.
So everybody needs it. Everybody is faced with choices right now. Somebody is not doing something that they know they want to do or should be doing because they haven't made the choice to do it. They've made the choice to listen to the negative voice. And so I want to encourage you to take that positive step.
Now is the time. Now. Well, I want to say, if Sarah have any question for you.
No, I just want to add one more phrase. It's just say, be bold. Whatever you want to do, just be bold.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's the way to go. Well, I want to thank you so much, Lori, for sharing your book and your message and being here with us. I know it's still a holiday for many people, still the long weekend, but we figure we're going to start with Monday. So here we are. And I want to say that your message is really, really important. I think we all have a very similar message, but we tell in a different story. We tell in our own voice. So our audience, you have a message, you have a story as well. All you have to do is make a choice, a conscious choice to be bold.
That's it.
And not be shy and put your story away in the closet, because it does nobody any good. So thank you for sharing, and I hope everybody enjoy this conversation. And we're gonna be back and talk more about self-worth and self-esteem and confidence tomorrow.
Great. Yes, I'll have to tune in there and see the other speaker as well. So
Yes.
thank you all for having me on. And I think you had already shared with your audience where they can get the book, Amazon.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, and you can actually put the link in there too. You know, if they can, how they can get in touch with you, or where to get the book. It is a beautiful things to read all this self-empowerment books, because it will get you to move forward. It will excite you. But then again, like you said, Lori, nothing will get things done unless you take the actions.
That's right.
And the action is the important piece.
Very good. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you again for being on, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.